welcome to another episode of TGNDCast, the official podcast of The Geek Next Door. And I have some regulars and some new regulars and some special people with us. So I will go around by my right.
Hi, I'm Donna.
And what do you do, Donna?
I write for TGND.com. Reviews mainly.
There we go. And next up we have...
Curtis. You know me.
You've heard who Curtis is. And then we have the lovely...
I'm Rae! Hi! Rae Johnston. I'm one of the incredibly lucky people in this world that gets to talk for a living about things like games and comics and tech, so you can all hate me. Hi.
We're envious.
No hate, just jealousy.
And then there's just me, Jesse. I've been through all the podcasts. You guys should know me.
Absolutely. So we'll jump straight into it. The first thing we want to do is, what are we playing? So I guess I'll start. I have been dying multiple times in Dark Souls because Dark Souls 2 is coming out.
He puts stuff on Instagram all the time about
All
it.
the time. I've actually been live tweeting my deaths. I think I'm up to 28 deaths.
How long have you been playing?
A couple of hours.
Oh, no.
No, that's normal. That's normal. That's
No.
what I was checking for.
Not that long. He's gotten up to the gargoyles.
Yeah, which are just really hard.
The thing about
Ridiculously
Dark
hard.
Souls
You're
is
going to have to cut
it
that.
doesn't direct you where to go. So when you say he's up to the gargoyles, that means like nothing, because he could have gone halfway across the map in the wrong direction first.
Well, he could have, but he didn't
Oh,
because I was guiding him because
Where are
he
we
kept
going
going,
now?
I don't know what to do next.
Dark Souls Tour Guide.
Oh, been there, done
It's
that.
your new title.
Yeah.
And Donna, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
And how's that?
No, it's
There's a
it's
review.
fine. There is a review. I did review it. Yeah, it's fine for a 2D Donkey Kong game. Does what it says on the pack, I guess. I just keep looking forward to more Donkey Kong. I want Donkey Kong to have Rare again. They deserve it.
Oh, Donkey Kong 64.
I know, right? But they had Diddy Kong as well, like Diddy Kong Racing and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now it's just all back to 2D
Which was
platform.
the
It's
first
like,
game that Conker appeared in, and I loved Conker's Bad Fur Day. which
Oh,
was
that
also
was a
rare.
brilliant game.
yeah.
One love, Rare. One love.
One love.
And Banjo Kazooie.
Oh,
They were just like, they were a powerhouse of a generation, that developer.
Yeah.
See now, and it's interesting you bring that up. I actually saw copies of Conker's Bad Fur Day with box and stuff going on eBay and stuff recently for very, very high sums of money.
People love
Because
it.
apparently it's rare and people love it. And it's not
It's
just
double
rare,
rare.
but
Oh,
it's double
think
rare.
My heart aches for all the games that have gone out of my collection over the years that I could be holding on to going, this is worth something on eBay now, because I'd still never sell it.
Yeah.
That's a
You just
shame.
gotta have it so that you can be like, yep, that was mine.
Yeah, except I have people trade in my games when I go away so that it doesn't take over our house.
That's fair enough.
You need a cupboard with a lock on it.
I know, right?
5 locks. 5 locks.
5 locks.
5 looks.
Curtis, what have you been playing?
The mighty quest for epic loot.
And is it epic?
It's repetitive. Put it that way. It's in open beta. It's very, very fun. I may have picked the wrong hero, but, you know, you'll understand that if you guys watch it or play it. But I'm also moving house this coming week, so it's kind of when I can fit gaming time in this past week.
Mm-hmm. So is it that kind of like short burst kind of game of fun, or?
Well, yes and no. Basically, you go and attack all the other players' castles and try and work your way through their maze of a castle. But if their castle's been recently attacked, it's shielded and you get less money for it at the end. So it means you've really got to grind out different castle after
Oh
different
man,
castle.
I can't stand grinding.
Yeah.
Ray, what have you been playing lately?
I recently acquired an iPad, so I've been downloading all the
versus zombies.
games that I haven't been able to play on iPad before and giving a lot of stuff a go. And yeah, The Room was a recent one that I finished. It was
That's
like
a
a
really
cult
good
puzzler.
Yeah.
Yeah, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, that was very challenging and a lot of fun. But also recently went into the Warner Brothers headquarters to play the Lego Movie video game.
Jealous!
And, yeah. and also the Hobbit Lego game as well. So
Oh, wow.
they were really fun. So yeah, so that's been fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what have you been playing, Jesse?
I've been playing Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z, and Al's covering his face right now for those you can't see.
We're all looking at you in pity.
It broke my heart.
It did break my heart. It really, really, really did. It was... I expected... You took out power-ups. What's wrong with you? You took up the ability to power up.
How's the combat in that game?
Oh my god, it took out combos. You took out powering up, you took out combos, you took out beam struggles.
And how did Vegeta look when he first popped on the screen? How was his arms?
Okay, before I go into that, like, in terms of graphics, it's very pretty. It's probably the best we've seen out of a DBZ game. But there is an occasional, like... hiccup, yeah. Let's say hiccup, where you look at, like, their muscles and you're like, what you've done is you've basically just scribbled on the page and called it a muscle. I wrote a review for it.
Nah, man, they're veins.
They're veins. I wrote a review for it, so you guys can go check it out if you want.
So that review, that can be seen at tgeeknd.com.
That's the one.
And it should still be on the front page when people listen to this, potentially. If not, just you'll find tags and stuff. You can find it. It's easy.
Look, hopefully by that time we'll have a nice Plants vs. Zombies one up too.
Hopefully.
Ooh.
When I move and don't have internet access and have to play the game, yeah.
That'll be great. How are you going to type it up and get it to me? I'm going to receive a text message, aren't I?
Yeah, straight up.
Straight up, trying to do it
start
from
it right
text.
now. It might be finished next week.
All right, so we'll move on. The next one is the Titanfall bundle that just announced. Yeah. So the Titanfall bundle is, a standard Xbox One console with a download code for the Titanfall game. Is that right?
I just know it comes with the game. I'm not sure if it comes with the disc or if it's got the code.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It's just got a code.
Okay.
Yeah, from what I was reading in the media release. The big thing with this, which Dana has brought up and myself as well, is that it doesn't seem to have a Titanfall controller.
Or the special headset.
Or the special headset. It's got a normal Xbox headset. And the console's not a Titanfall console in any way that we've seen with Halo and so many other games. Which
I have seen a modded Xbox One that had decals and a nice pretty design.
Mm-hmm.
So I know someone out there loves Titanfall enough to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't Microsoft making that? You know, that's a sweet cherry there.
It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
It's a disappointment. It's not what people want. People want the pretty stuff.
I love
people
collector's editions, man.
Exactly. Like, your 3DS, your Zelda 3DS, you absolutely love that thing. And the Yoshi one that's coming out, I know you're really keen on getting that.
I'm keen on that, yeah, for sure. Nintendo step in the right direction with a themed 3DS. No golf game, please.
What is the standard price on an Xbox One, though?
$599.
So and how much is the bundle?
$599. You get the game for free, basically.
Then it's just a bundle. I mean, almost all of them come out with bundles at some stage. If you're not paying extra money for it, then
I'd happily pay an extra $100 for a Titanfall controller and a themed Xbox One.
yeah, but you're not. So that's the point. You could take
I
that
know.
$100 and you could just buy a Titanfall
The
controller.
key thing I should probably mention is that the controllers themselves look pretty good, but they were extremely rare.
Yeah,
As
they
I
were.
mentioned in the last podcast, I work for a game specialty retailer, and we only got 4 of them in, and we were getting order after order after order for weeks when they got announced. Head office, no, you get 4.
You get 4 only.
2 of them went to one person.
Isn't this the problem with this current generation, though, is that there seems to be an inability to supply to the demand?
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Especially when we're looking at, and going off track now, because we can. When you look at like the PS4 and the way that it came out and they didn't capitalize on the Xbox One's quote unquote problems when it came to the DRM stuff. I mean,
Terrible marketing.
yeah, exactly. And the PS4 could have easily outsold the Xbox One without any problems, except they couldn't meet the demand. There were still Xboxes available, and they still had sold more than the PS4, and that's confusing to me. Like, as a console distributor / producer, you're thinking at one point you've got your Xbox, and they always seem to be in stock. Even when they're out of stock, they're in stock like a couple of weeks later. No one's really missing out. But with the PS4, it was like, hey, it's out of stock and we're not getting the next one for 3 months.
I think it's an
It's the demand of it.
it's an Australian specific problem, because if you go on Amazon, you can buy a PS4,
Yeah,
an
except you
American
can't
PS4,
import
but
them
you
to
can't
here.
get one here.
You can import them, but if there's an issue with it, as a lot were in America upon release, you had to send it back to America to
Well-
get them to look at it and fix it.
I remember a bunch of people saying about how they pre-ordered PS4s and stuff from the UK, and then Amazon overturned it and went, hey, you know that order that you had? Here's your money back because you can't have it because you're in Australia and this is being sold from the UK.
That's
So-
because in most cases Amazon will do that, from what I've heard anyway, because the UK and Australia share region compatibility. So what Amazon sort of decided after there was a big hoo-ha 2 or 3 years ago, if a region compatibility is there and there's a demand in one of those 2 regions, you can't swap from the other.
Right.
Because
Okay.
it's unfair on that marketplace.
Yeah, which makes sense, but the shortage here doesn't make sense.
No.
Do you think that they're also trying to do some type of exclusive thing? Like people feel special because they've got a PlayStation
does
when the
feel like
Xboxes
that.
are so readily available?
Isn't that just shooting yourself in your foot? Like, I mean, if you make your console exclusive and you only sell it to, say, 20,000 people, then later on you can only sell 20,000 games, whereas if you'd sold 1 million consoles, then that's 1 million games, like...
Yeah.
Exactly. It just feels like at one point it feels like they're trying to be all like, hey, this is the smartest marketing thing we've ever done. Whereas everyone who wants one is looking at it and going, this is the dumbest marketing thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
You know, so...
I was very surprised when, the consoles were coming out. I barely saw anything for PlayStation 4. I saw that Xbox One were pimping it out like there was no tomorrow. I don't know if that was because they were kind of like, look, I think we have to keep that extra step forward, after what happened with E3.
Here in Australia, my big problem is...
E3.
My big problem was, and you'll remember this, Ray, at PAX, everyone went there going, sweet, we're going to see both of the new consoles, this is going to be great. Xbox One is sitting in a glass cabinet, it's only out for like 2 hours during the day. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to build this hype train and we're going to jump on this train and take it to the next station, which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the way that they did it. I think they could have just left it out.
Sitting in a glass box.
It's not like someone's going to steal it.
My problem with it was the fact that they only had it out for 2 hours and
2
it was
hours.
guarded the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think's going to happen?
Do you know what was even funnier? Like, on that 2 hours, I went by and had a quick look at it. There was not a lot of people there. Like, I don't think that they...
There was a lot of press there, taking photos and dribbling all over the glass. I saw some guys
One of
from
the
Wow.
had like the dribble cloth and was just wiping it off.
Pretty much,
Just
just like
polishing the glass.
Another nerd has dribbled on the glass. Time to wipe it off.
Well, that's why it's a 2 hour limit, because the glue holding that glass together only water resistant for
It
2
dissolves
hours.
in saliva.
Well,
Curtis,
hang on. I think we all know where the glue came from. Then it was actually Spider-Man's webs.
Oh,
You guys are the
Ooh.
best bullshitters I've ever met.
I know,
Hands
right?
I
down.
haven't even started. Oh.
This is my thing. Like, so Xbox One were there at PAX. They had their own panel about the Xbox One. Sorry, Microsoft, about the Xbox One.
Yep.
Where was PlayStation?
Oh my...
Sony.
Resting on their laurels.
Yeah, they were just like, we don't care. We got the sales. What do we care?
We've got our awesome video about how you can share games. That's all we need.
Hey, you know how you want to share games? Here, I give my disc to this guy. We're done. Bye, guys.
Here's how to share games on the PS4. And they just hand it to each other. It was beautiful, though. It was brilliant.
It was brilliant.
It
And
was.
then where was the follow-up?
Yeah, there wasn't any.
Now, to cut back to it as well, about the rarity of the consoles, you kind of have to remember that Sony released worldwide. So all the consoles they've been making split around the world. Microsoft limited to 16 countries,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was half of Sony's.
But
So even if they'd been making it the same rate, there's plenty more Xboxes at the start to go around. It's how many months since release now, and we've still got backlogs for one console only?
Mhm.
That's a little worrying.
I just feel like it's not a spoilable item. If you warehouse it,
it's not going to go off.
it's not going off. It's not going
Well,
anywhere. And then
Mostly.
when your release date comes, you've got stuff.
Yeah, you get stuff for people. Hey, look, we're just going to ship it to here. This was actually a big thing that everyone was talking about a couple of months ago. There are a lot of thoughts that both systems were rushed to try and beat each other, and that's why we're seeing problems now. I know this from experience. My Kinect just died. Well, our Kinect just died. Out of the blue, went to turn it on one afternoon when I got home from work. Doesn't work. Awesome, that's great. Now I'm going to send it back to
Mine did the
Microsoft.
same thing. Like,
Apparently,
crazy,
it is
isn't
a
it?
common problem.
Yeah.
I'm still winning.
For now. You
Yeah.
wait.
And we went to our local reputable games retailer, and we have to go through Microsoft to get it fixed.
Yeah.
So.
That's a little disappointing.
Or you return the entire console.
No, we still have to go back to Microsoft. They don't
Really?
have... Apparently, the place that we bought it from, the reputable retailer, doesn't have stocks. And they don't know when they're getting stocks in, so they can't guarantee
Did it
us one.
Yeah.
start
Saint
with a
Constant
D and end with a H?
No.
Words?
No,
you didn't do that
it's
one.
not... It
No.
wasn't through dickheads.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really need a buzzer to like.
No, see, this is the
See, when
thing.
we get funding, that's on the first thing on the list.
I actually listened
Get
to
the
2
buzzer.
previous podcasts and noted down the amount of times we swore, which wasn't much, but it's still past iTunes, so we're all good.
Yeah. For now.
For now. All right. Well, I think we spent enough time on this. Next one
bundle, at
is
least.
yes. The next one is going to be Irrational Games, quote unquote closure, and I say quote unquote because they're not closing down the whole thing. They're taking 15 specific people. They're getting rid of everyone else, and they're starting a smaller, more gamer-focused studio and doing everything digital. What are your thoughts on this?
For anyone that isn't aware, what do Irrational do and what do they make?
People should know this, right?
They should.
All right, fine. All right, so you're looking at
Shark.
mainly your Bioshock Infinite Bioshock series.
Except
So-
not 2.
Yeah, except not 2, actually. That's
Don't
a
be
really
don't
good
be
point.
mean enough to lump them with that.
Hey, it was good. It just wasn't Bioshock.
I finished 2 before I finished 1, I'll be honest. I never owned a copy of number 1, so I only got to play it at friends. I got 2.
People at home can't see this. I'm currently staring at Curtis like,
yeah.
what?
Daggers,
We're
man.
just doing
daggers.
that pity look again.
I get that a lot. I get that from my 2-year-old son. Okay? So you guys got some practice to do.
Is it because you're a ginger?
No, he is.
I'm a closet ginger. It's okay. I can say
Yeah.
that.
It's only a ginger can call another ginger ginger. That's
Exactly.
what it's right.
Quiet, you red.
I just hide mine under actual fake red hair, so...
Comes up to my house, I'm gangster, yo. Okay, Al.
That's because he was wearing a bandana as well.
a red bandana.
Yeah.
What up?
With freaking socks up there.
Irrational.
Irrational.
Hey.
Yeah, irrational. We're
Alright.
talking about irrational.
Yeah, I'm totally irrational. So what do you guys think? Like, I don't know. I've got 2 minds of thoughts from this one now. I saw a lot of people bagging it, and I'm just going to go into a little thing about this here. The first part is, if anyone remembers the issues with Bioshock Infinite and the delay that was there, because I think it was 2K came in and went, no, we want multiplayer, and Ken Levine was like, it doesn't need multiplayer, we don't want multiplayer. Then the internet exploded saying, we don't want multiplayer. And they went, oh,
Surprising,
okay.
'cause, around the time of number 2, everyone wanted multiplayer.
Everyone
for
wanted multiplayer.
Bioshock 1.
Yep.
2's
And-
didn't work.
Exactly.
Nobody wanted it for it.
And I have a feeling that this is kind of the push behind Ken's decision to break out in that way, because then he doesn't have to rely on that publisher. He's not forced into a position where he's making decisions he doesn't want to make. And he can actually make the games that he wants to, and B, make it very focused, rather than having to go back to a publisher who's like, show me this, show me that, where are we up to with this? No, you've got to change that. He can turn around and say, you know what, I don't have to play by their rules.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
The amount of time that they spent in development was enormous, and recouping those costs with a large team is really hard. So I think he just kind of wants to refine everything and bring it back to basics.
I sort of agree with that.
It is terrible for all the people that have lost their jobs, because it is such a volatile industry. But I am very curious and very excited to see what happens with the new team.
Yeah.
I'm quite sad that they're like dissolving. Like they've done good, they've done a lot of good things, but I think it's kind of indicative of the industry as a whole. Like blowouts on budgets and then unrealistic sales expectations.
Exactly.
Both of those things together are going to lead you to a problem where you're never going to make back your money.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just a fallout from that, really.
And this
The publishers put these huge targets, and then the developers are trying to work to meet these budgets, and it really is ridiculous.
And this is the thing as well, especially when no one's on a surefire thing for games anymore. No one can say, I know 100% this game's going to earn this much, so we can spend, this much money on it. And this is the thing that really does my head in. A game studio who is, spending all of this time and all this cash to try and make this gorgeous, amazing game, but then they're putting in so much stuff that is it feels like it's segregated throughout a lot of the games at the moment. and not really taking the time to refine for the actual player experience, but just going, we need to make it as broad as possible so everyone plays it so that we make money. Well, stop making games that cost so much. You don't need...
I don't think it's necessary either, because if you have a look at a lot of games that are really popular, they don't necessarily have the best graphics. And I mean, Minecraft is the perfect example of that.
Absolutely.
Like, it's making so much money, and you can barely say that it has graphics. Like...
And this is a point when it comes to the new console generation as well. Everyone seems to be, for some reason, so focused on how pretty something is. The new Tomb Raider, like, its selling point to us, the media guys, was look at Lara's hair, look at how it moves. It's like, I don't care about Lara's hair. Is there anything new in the game?
It's greasy, shiny, and sits 2 inches above her shoulder.
Yeah.
That's some good hair right there.
I'm going to buy a game for hair. Oh.
Isn't it a lot of the time, though, that stuff doesn't even happen on consoles anyway? You have to buy the PC version.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't have a PC that will run that stuff because I don't have that much money. Like,
Push my settings right up to watch it in all its beauty and then push them back down again so I could actually play the game.
It's not just...
I'll admit I am drawn in by... you know, how beautiful the game is. I always think that it's incredibly exciting to see how far we've come and the advancements that we've made with visuals in games. And it is a draw card for me, but it's not the be-all and end-all. And it's, you know, there's so much more to it. You know, as you said, Minecraft.
Yeah. And that's the other thing as well. If I go out and I make a cupcake, okay... And I know this is going to sound like a strange analogy, but I really like food. So I put in some guys to research this cupcake, right? I know how many cupcakes I want to make, and I know how gorgeous I want these cupcakes. But at the end of the day, if that cupcake tastes like crap, someone's going to buy it, and then they're going to complain about it, and then more people aren't going to buy it, and I'm not going to make the money. And that's where the problem with the industry is at the moment. Like,
I really like that analogy.
It's a good analogy.
Stealing that.
I'm all about cupcakes and mud cakes, so... And that's one of the problems that I foresee at the moment is that everyone seems to be so like the Titanfall thing, right?
Yeah.
And there was a big thing recently on, I think it was NeoGAF or something like that, where people were like, oh, you know, Respawn are paying people to do these reviews and these previews of the beta. It's like, you guys are totally mental. I don't understand why you would think that one of these places would pay so many people, because they'd go out of business, to say how good that game is. The game is solid. Yeah, and check out our preview. Like, it's pretty short, and I just pretty much gush all over the place. But, you know, that's on the side as well.
But with Irrational, like, as you said, there's 15 of the top guys, quote unquote, that are splitting off to do their own thing. And there are so many people that are losing their jobs. But in this industry, what's to stop the entirety of the rest of the people getting together, making one or two little indie companies? Bam, Minecraft 2, you know?
But I think, like, I think, like, Ken Levine is the genius behind that country.
Yeah.
That
Company.
We're calling it a country.
It's a country.
They've seceded from the union. But
He was
like,
the king of Irrational.
but he's really,
Irrational Independence Day, yo.
he really is the genius.
Now I just want to see an Irrational Park.
Oh, that was adorable. It's just like, oh, no, please, can we do that?
That's something we need to start on Twitter. Hashtag Irrational.
They can have a flag and an anthem.
That's
They're
it, we're
gone
getting
now.
on this.
They've been dissolved.
Trademark it. Straight up.
But like, he is really the genius behind that company, and so I am excited to see what he does with the guys he's taken, because obviously he's chosen the ones he wants, and I reckon that'll be good. Because I mean, you can see, like, the guy who went off and made Bioshock 2 was actually on the team for Bioshock 1, and it wasn't as good, let's be honest. So, you know, you still need someone to lead you. Yeah, they can go off and make indie companies and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
and if they've got someone with the vision, I guess. As wanky as that sounds.
And it makes me kind of excited to think of what Ken's going to be doing in the future. I mean, the fact is we know he's the genius behind, you know, certain parts of these games. We know his drive and his force. Imagine that without having that major publisher over his shoulder. What is he going to do next? Like,
Start a Kickstarter fund.
Oh, gosh.
you know, I can't imagine him doing that considering how much money I'm sure the company still has. And this was another
He's
point.
going to go imposable instead. Indiegogo.
Indiegogo, let's
Indiegogo.
go. Because when it comes down to it, the company hasn't folded. And this was the first thing I really hated about people saying, oh, it's closing because they're folding. They're not folding. They still have money. They're just dissolving that part of the company and creating something smaller with the capital they've got left over, which is still a lot. I mean, the game may have...
They're in their rights to do.
Exactly.
You know?
And the game may have sold fairly well by today's standards. Not amazingly well, apparently. But when it comes down to it, they still have plenty of money left over in their budget to start pumping out digital-only titles. They don't have to run it through a publisher and get it signed off by them, which is going to take months. They don't have to go back and do anything. As soon as they're happy with it, they can go, you know what, digital distribution, go. And we might actually see more stuff from them in shorter periods of time that's different.
Yeah.
Definitely shorter periods of time.
Yeah, hoping so.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at
See, this is why we're in charge.
Oh, I don't wear the pants.
I'm wearing shorts. We're in trouble.
Now, we're going to go on to the next topic now, which Jesse wants to talk about, which is what, Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, just wanted a bit of chat about it. I've been discussing it with a few friends of mine. I've been a fan of the series for a while. I didn't jump on the train right away. In fact, I didn't quite like the game at first.
I'm still not on board.
Okay, that's fine. That's more than fine.
I loved it from the start. So.
I think what one of the games got me on board was Birth by Sleep on the PSP. I loved that game. It basically was the start, before number one. I think it was a number of years before number one. But a lot of my friends are generating a bit of a hype, and I've just got a few questions in regards to it. What do we expect? Because it seems like all the games are leading into this game now. A massive Keyblade war, if you will have it. And yeah, it fascinates me. You have Xehanort who seems... Xehanort being the bad guy.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Jesse, this is basically a conversation between Dana, yourself, and potentially Rae, because me and Al got...
Kingdom Hearts, no idea. You no idea?
no
No, Rae doesn't know either.
That's
No
cool.
experience.
That's cool. I wanted the reason why I wanted
I'm
to.
probably not the best person for the finer points of the story. I think I'd just sit back and let Jesse
It's
go
all-
at
No,
it.
it's all
no.
you, son.
That's all me. That's cool. Going solo. No, as I said, reason why I wanted to discuss it is I have a number of friends who have been a massive fan of the series, and one thing, that it is leading up to is a massive Keyblade war. But what I'm finding a bit strange is we haven't got really any hints as to what it's actually going to be. And I actually wanted to put a bit of a shout out because I like doing my shout outs. What do you think you're going to expect on Kingdom Hearts 3? What do you want to see out of the game? I'm
Now,
really
if you're
interested
going
to
to
know.
ask for shout-outs this time, I want you to post on the Facebooks about it.
Of course I did. I did the Flappy Bird one.
I just don't know, I think expecting a coherent long-term story from Square Enix is sometimes expecting a bit too much. I mean, Final Fantasy goes up its ass so often, it doesn't know where it is most of the time.
10 minutes
So-
into the start of this next one, everyone dies and you start over.
So yeah, I don't know, to say that they'll come out and they'll be like, this is the succinct end to this story and this is how it's going to happen.
Right.
It's like dreaming.
Oh, I'm not saying it's going to be the end, but I think it's leading up to something big.
You know what? I in all honesty, and I've only played a little bit of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, sure.
But I've played enough of the different Kingdom Hearts game to say this. I'd like to see the end. I really would. I'd like to see them go, all right, you know what? This is done. This is tired. This is old. Kill it off. Let's start again with something else.
Why are they going to do that? They just released Final
Of course
Fantasy
they're not going to
13
do it.
3,
But I'd
which
like
is
them to do it.
ridiculous.
Alright, I've got it.
Yeah.
We got Disney characters, right?
Are you saying
Big
Kingdom
battle.
Hearts?
No. Big battle. Everyone dies. Kid wakes up. It's all a dream.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking
Nightmare.
Kid
Straight
wakes
up.
up, he's a Jedi.
Oh.
Kid wakes up. He's a Jedi versus the damn X-Men.
Oh,
Bring it in. Bring it in.
Well, I need to be
Star
alone.
Wars Universe versus Marvel Universe. How brilliant
Yeah.
would that game be?
Can-
I'd pay to play that.
Can we please
no,
make this
suddenly I'm
happen? We need to
interested.
put this in
Exactly.
Kickstarter.
Hey, remember when Nintendo listened to us about Bank? They might
That's
be
true,
listening to
that's
about
true.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Get on it.
it's possible. It's
Come
possible.
on, Disney.
Highly unlikely possible.
Come on, guys, make it happen.
I prophesize when I cast, son.
Preach to me!
Preach, preacher!
All right, we'll go on to the next one. We're going to step into comic book reviews now, and Jesse posted to my Facebook wall because now I've
Ray's
become
looking happy.
totally
Looking happy.
unimpressed with The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Well, before you go on, I posted the new extended trailer to Spider-Man 2, The Amazing
That
Spider-Man
was
2.
actually the first one I'd seen.
Okay.
I really wanted to keep as much on the low as I could
Yep.
with this, because when I was growing up, when I was about 16, 17, I had over 400 Spider-Man comics. Like, me
Decent.
and him was tight.
Yeah.
I grew up on Spider-Man. I wasn't a DC kid. And just as a side thing, the one thing I've realised in my older, more refined years is that
Sorry, no, that was... I don't know what...
teabagging people in World of Warcraft. What I've realised is that when I was a kid, I associated myself with Spider-Man more than anyone else. I was picked on as a kid. I was spat on and beat up, like everyone else was, I'm sure. But when
No,
I was
that's all
growing
good.
up, the Marvel characters were all parts of my weaknesses. They were all parts of my personality that I didn't want to face. But I love those heroes because they were strong enough to face these weaknesses. I mean, you had the Thing with his rage, and you had Spider-Man who was
They were
constantly
your heroes,
picked on.
basically.
They were my heroes.
They
absolutely.
were people that you looked up to.
Yeah. As I
But
got
that's
older.
kind of a fundamental difference between Marvel and DC characters, because
Exactly.
DC were these unbelievably overpowered, good, wholesome, everything is amazing about them sort of
Billionaires.
characters that are unrealistic, whereas when Marvel came along, it was they had faults and weaknesses,
They
and
changed the
they were
landscape.
relatable.
Exactly.
Tony Stark was a jerk.
Tony Stark was an alcoholic jerk.
Yeah.
Come on, let's be real here. I mean, he was
With
placed...
a failing heart.
But generally speaking, like...
Thank you, Don.
But yeah, the whole Iron Man thing, he was a drunkard. Everyone knows that, he was just...
Yep.
He became a horrible person. The comics was replaced by Rhodey for a while. But when it comes to DC in my later years, I'm like, you know what, these guys are badass. But it feels like Marvel is still quite kiddie in the comics. In a lot of the comics, not all of them. Like, if you read anything like the Civil War era stuff, that stuff was fantastic.
Marvel
Yeah.
Zombies was
A
boss.
Civil War movie, how good would that be?
Oh, this is something I've been saying for ages. How great would it be? Maybe that is what they're building up to.
I hope so.
With the Winter Soldier and seeing how Captain America is now going to be going against the system,
Yep.
potentially it could be building up to that. That would be exciting.
Just
It is so good.
just before we go back on Spider-Man, because we're totally gone a little bit.
Ah, that's all right. We got time.
No, that's cool. The thing I quite liked about, let's say, Iron Man 3 was the fact that he was messed up in the head after the events that happened in the Avengers.
Exactly.
I loved that it showed that he was a man and he was pretty much nothing
He
without
was
his
a
suit.
grounded hero.
Exactly.
And that, I think that's the big thing for Marvel, and this is where DC are kind of still failing, except for Arrow, which is awesome. If you're not watching Arrow because you got sick of the first season, like Curtis just pointed to himself, go back, and the family stuff is wanky and horrible. Don't get me wrong, but everything else about it is pretty damn good.
I need to get through the first season because I think I'm about 6 episodes in and it feels like I'm watching a terrible, terrible soap.
And it is.
Like
That's
daytime
why I
TV
stopped watching,
in
like-
South America or something. It's just, it's awful.
That's where they
And
need to get...
cheesy and
See,
adds
that's the
on
part of
enough.
it I liked, because I like comics. I'm gonna say comics are not my thing. I love the cheesy part of it. I was sitting there going, ha 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 ha.
And Al's just like,
And then people
No.
are like, you have to keep watching because Hunter shows up soon. I'm like, okay, fine.
And how good does the new Flash costume look? Did anyone see this popped up
Really
on the
does.
internet?
It looks amazing.
How good does it look? I was
Yeah.
surprised. I was like, yeah, come on, we've seen it before, and last time they made it all latex and horrible, and this time it actually looks like a superhero suit. Complete
Yeah,
with a little
it's all-
chin guard and everything.
Texture of the
Yeah.
fabric and that, it looks like you'd run your nails along it and go,
Yeah, exactly. It looks like the Flash. I'm actually surprised. I haven't been this excited for anything Flash in a long time.
You
I
ain't
mean-
Sheldon Cooper then. So.
Nah, I ain't no Sheldon Cooper. I stopped reading The Flash. I stopped watching anything to do with The Flash in the 90s era because there was a TV show out for a while and it was horrible. And I don't mean like, oh yeah, it's possible. I mean, no, this thing looked like it was done by a couple of kids, one adult, a movie lot. And
Film.
oh, even the suit was terrible. He just looked like a giant action figure with rubber ducky kind of stuck to him and painted red.
Oh, that's terrible.
It was so bad.
Getting back to the Amazing Spider-Man
Pulling
2.
it back to the Amazing
We're gonna
Spider-Man
pull
2.
back
Really?
here.
Really?
And actually, there was
Yeah.
something I have to make a point here that somebody brought up the point that I made it feel like there was too many villains in the last sequence of trailers and stuff. But
Yeah.
the thing I was trying to get at is they're hinting at all these people. I didn't necessarily mean they're actually putting them in it yet.
Yeah.
But the way they're structuring it makes it look like it is. Go ahead.
Still waiting for Mysterio. Just putting that out there.
Oh, damn straight.
He'd be the best.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Venom.
Mm.
Give not
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 Venom. No.
Yeah, no, but a proper Venom.
A proper-
Carnage
and
or
proper-
any
like a
symbiote.
Carnage
Like
Carnage.
really
Oh, man.
awesome symbiote.
Carnage would be amazing. Yeah, so I posted the extended trailer onto Al's wall, and immediately Al's just gone, no.
Yeah.
No.
No,
Now,
no,
I'm
back
gonna
it up, back it up.
Back it up,
You've
back it
gone
up.
far.
I'm gonna say this. Let me ask you this, Al. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. And
I'm
did you
gonna-
think it looked at least a little bit better?
Too
Look,
much lightning.
I'm going to say this. It's the same thing I say about games. It looks pretty.
Looks pretty.
It looks pretty.
Pretty.
The problem is, how many times have we seen this stupid approach to a villain? You don't pay enough attention to me. Oh, it's Electro. Make him a badass. Don't make him like, I want to be like Spider-Man. And then later on, like, you don't remember me. I'm going to hit you with electricity for no reason at all.
Yeah.
No explanation. All of a
Joker.
sudden, he's a psycho.
Be more like the Joker. Be more like.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm not
No
gonna
one
say
allowed to
that.
be like the Joker.
Be more
Like, if you're
crazy.
gonna have a bad guy, give him actually dark, ingrained psychological problems.
Give him a
like
purpose.
problems
And-
like serial killers
Exactly.
We
have.
just said Carnage will get there.
Yeah, well, we'll
Carnage will
see.
get there.
Hey,
Not
hey,
under that current studio.
No,
No.
God no.
So
No.
as I said, Marvel, get on this, please.
Mhm.
It's happened before.
They
They
need to
listen
get
to
it
us.
back.
The thing I want to point out here is tie it into Spider-Man. Don't tie it into him as he's, that Electro is some freaking stalker, which is what they show in the trailer. There's like a wall of Spider-Man stuff, and he's like, isn't it just amazing? Like, I want to be just like him.
Why?
I was just like,
That's exactly it. Why?
what?
Man's whiny, man.
The thing that really got to me as well is like, yeah, there was a mutated spider, and that's how Spider-Man came about. That's cool. Getting a giant vat of eels and electric PowerPoint
Be right
ain't
back.
gonna turn you
No.
into a lightning.
Whoa,
Whoa, whoa,
whoa,
whoa,
whoa,
hang on.
whoa, guys, hold my beer.
Oh,
Hold my beer. I'm gonna
No,
become
see-
Electro.
since
you
when?
got eels out back, Jesse?
Yeah.
Let's get on that.
I know, right? We're gonna all become
Create-
superheroes. And then we're gonna whinge and be like, you don't remember me, Spider-Man?
Who was
Things
the?
like that create unrealistic expectations for a whole generation of young moviegoers. They go
Exactly.
home and
But
have
that-
accidents and then
E-
say,
even if the
why am I not a
accidents-
superhero?
Even if that does happen, somehow video games gonna get blamed.
Yeah.
Whatever the movies.
Did you guys see? I had a day on Twitter where I decided to start blame video games, the hashtag blame video games
I
trending,
did.
and I got it
Participated.
trending. It was so good.
That was so
Disappointed.
good.
My pizza's cold. Hashtag blame video games. My vacuum cleaner cord broke. Like just everything that goes wrong, you blame video games. It's all their fault.
I don't remember
Twitter
what mine
was
was.
breaking
I remember
a
it was
day.
hilarious.
Twitter
but-
breaking it down.
Yeah.
They were just wonderful.
It
But
was
then some
great.
people went really dark with it, and I'm like, no, that's
Yeah,
not
I was like, that's not the point, guys. No. But going back to the whole Spider-Man thing, because we sidetrack
We
so
should
often.
call this episode of the podcast "Going Back to Spider-Man."
Going back
Oh
to
my- yes.
that's done.
Please.
Done.
No, it's done. Going back to Spider-Man.
But I just don't know where this studio is heading because they show. Have we all seen the new Green Goblin?
Oh god.
Hang on, wait. Chester.
Chest.
We all know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. Linkin Park, right? He looks like the dude from Linkin Park and a
Yeah.
little bit of body armor.
Chester, otherwise known as the
Benninger.
guy that they've gotten to do vocals on Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So it's, why is he entering all these parts of my life? I have exiled you forever. Go away.
Exactly.
He's the new Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl's in everything, man. Now it's Chester.
Yeah, but Dave Grohl's Dave Grohl. He can be in everything.
He's
I don't
allowed
care,
to.
man.
Dave
Yeah, I'll allow
Grohl
it.
helped with some 9 Inch Nails tracks, and I'm forever grateful for Dave Grohl to put in some
Yeah.
decent drum tracks that Trent can't put in, to be honest. But I just don't understand, like, you're going for a Green Goblin. It's not that hard to do the comics Green Goblin. All right, there
No.
was, in 91, there was some test footage, and I don't know if you've seen this, Ray, but it's the Green Goblin. It is the purple hat and the green face. And it looked amazing. It was 91. But what, they can't do that now? Instead, they've got, like...
Gotta have armor.
Spider-Man...
armor and, like, big eyes like this.
Yep. So the original Spider-Man, the whole, like, combat-filled bodysuit was amazing. That was pretty cool, right? The scary, like, based on tribal type of mask to terrify people, that was a great touch.
Yeah.
The third Spider-Man is where it started going downhill. We had, like, snowboarding, extreme gobbo.
That was Hobgoblin, though.
No,
Wasn't it?
no, it wasn't. It was still Green Goblin. That was the second Green Goblin. They've never done Hobgoblin, which is another thing I'd love to see that they're never going to do.
No, they're never going to do that.
And now we've got freaking, like, band members, you know, in between boy band and pop sensation for quote-unquote soft metal.
Oscorp's been keeping an eye on you, Harry.
Yeah, what is up with that? Peter, not Harry.
Oh,
It's Harry that says it.
Yeah, Harry, yeah. That's the one.
He's a DC boy. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
I'm actually a Marvel boy, but I don't know why the hell.
All right, well, the stuff that we're getting on this plot is that... Let's go through it for a quick sec. So, not only is this Electro guy, you know, kind of like stalking him and probably doing inappropriate things in his apartment to pictures of Spider-Man, but also it seems that Oscorp are also stalking Peter Parker at every turn and taking photos of him and stuff. So obviously they know he's Spider-Man.
Well, and that's sort of it. Isn't that supposed to be the whole point of Spider-Man? Like, I get that, like, some people are eventually going to find out, but it feels like too many people are finding out.
Yeah, too many people already know.
Too many people know. Like, you might as well not wear the mask, bro, dude. Like,
And I'm going to say it here, and I reckon I'm going to be pretty much 90% right on this one.
Okay.
They're going to tie it back that Peter Parker, although he isn't genetically born through a test tube, I reckon he's been genetically modified in the womb or something like that. That something between his mother and the father and the work that they were doing, they somehow genetically modified him. And that's why they're going to explain with the spider bite thing, that wasn't just like random happenstance. This was
a catalyst.
it's a catalyst. It's all predestined and stuff as well.
Condition
Yeah. And it's just, no, don't do like, you're ruining Spider-Man. You're just ruining it.
That does take away from it. That really does, because the whole point of the character is he's gone from that normal kid to having superpowers and going on that
never
journey.
Normal, Ray.
What are you saying about me? I grew up like that.
So did
No,
I. But he
we
was a
all
nerdy
believe that we
outcast
can
that was
have
in the wrong spot.
random accident and become superheroes.
Exactly.
That's how it happened for
So,
me.
get away
but-
from it.
I don't, because, you know, with great responsibility and great power and all that crap.
the corny one
I
comes in.
don't. Yeah, no.
You mean the corny line that was left out of the first movie?
Yeah.
Why do that?
I
So,
wouldn't want to have
But Dana,
superpowers.
if you had the chance to have any superpower, you wouldn't have one because you wouldn't want the responsibility.
No,
So that would be your superpower,
I'm
not
really
wanting a
lazy.
superpower.
I'd just rather sit in front of the television and
Actually-
be out at night helping old ladies cross the street.
Telekinesis.
Wait for
Yeah,
it.
that's what I was going to say. Telekinesis.
Hang on
yeah.
a second. You would be the basis
Silo.
for a very good superhero. The best heroes are the reluctant heroes. And this
Yeah.
is something we've seen with Firefly. This is something that we've seen with a lot of superhero stuff. The reluctant hero is always the best because it's the one that people
But
identify with.
that's just the refusal of the call, and you can't finish a show unless they actually pick up the call at the end. Like, if they just sit on the couch, they're still a shit hero.
Anyway,
Alright.
before we get on to the next subject, I'm now curious. I want to know what everybody's superpower would be if they could have one.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Just a quick one. I don't want no half-hour explanation.
Super Saiyan.
Zane, you want to be Goku. Cool.
Yeah.
Al?
I want to fly, man.
Bye.
Yeah.
Dana just wants to be Dana. Right?
Well, I'd be a super villain. If at the end of the day, if it came down to it, I'm saying I'd come out on that side more than I'd come out on the
So
side
like
of the good.
Magneto
Yeah, I
type
can
thing,
see
like
that.
control metal.
I see myself more as a Piccolo to your Goku.
She's the
Ooh.
anti-hero, man. She's the
Okay, so we're
anti-hero.
talking like King Piccolo type thing here. Like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking more like the Piccolo that sits around and bashes Gohan
Steals
across the
Gohan,
face. Yeah, that one.
Kid Basher Piccolo.
okay,
So
Curtis?
Dana wants to steal children, alright? I'm meeting my son.
Hey, she's met my son. She hasn't stolen him,
Yeah.
so it's
Look, I
alright.
don't want to steal your son because, like I said before, responsibility.
Yeah. I'd go full looper. I'd like to teleport.
Yeah, hey, teleport's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'll see you there. Instant transmission.
I'm with the teleportation. I would. It'd be a hard decision between telekinesis and teleportation. because
Well-
I am inherently extremely lazy.
See,
Well, that's the thing. If you don't have telekinesis, you just teleport to where the object is. Boop, boop, straight back.
you mean like the cupcake? Bringing it back to cupcakes.
Bringing it back to the
How's
cupcake.
that?
My
Full circle the
sandwich, my
cupcake.
sandwich needs more cheese.
I feel like teleportation would take a lot more energy than telekinesis, though. So,
Yeah, but that's why you teleport to get the
move your whole
cupcake.
body.
I feel like
Transporting
you should.
matter.
I feel
or
like you should just get the ability to control other people, thereby cutting it all out. Because you could just get
Mind
them to get your
control.
cheese. There you go.
Ooh, mind control.
You will do this review for me.
Yeah, we clearly don't have.
And all I'm saying is, if you go that route, you're clearly on the villain side as opposed to the hero side.
You're stealing people's free will. I can see that. That's villainous.
Even if you just want cheese, it's still not a good thing.
It's still villainous to make somebody else do your bidding without them wanting to. So you're taking away free will.
We'll go evil for cheese.
I would go.
How
full
good would
evil
that
for
be
some Gouda.
on a shirt?
I want that shirt.
Full evil for Gouda.
Someone that's listening needs to make this shirt and put it on Redbubble or something so I can get it.
I'm on it.
Evil
Yeah.
for cheese.
I'm on it.
Going evil for cheese. Alright, next topic.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ooh.
See,
This-
this is another thing that you can add to the list of when people go, oh no, we can't do this. It's going to be way too hard. And then you go, look at this.
Okay, so I'm no stranger to me saying things about, I don't know how good this is going to be. Like, we'll have to wait and at least see a trailer because I don't know if they can pull it off. Being Marvel, have they pulled it off?
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
They've sold me. They've sold me big time.
Well, to be fair, you've only seen a trailer, so whether they've
Oh,
pulled
I'm
it
still
off,
sold.
your final judgment will have to be reserved till you see the full movie.
Oh, yeah,
no,
but they've
so
already got
far
my
so
money for the
good, I
movie.
think is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
I know
That's,
you
and that's the thing. They've already got me in to see the movie.
Yeah, but you don't know if it's any good until you've seen it. Is
Oh,
all
we
I'm
don't, but
saying.
they've got my money. That's the
They've
point. They've
got
already
my
got my money for me to go and see the movie.
It's in
They've
the
got my money.
budget. It's in the budget.
I want
Yeah.
to say something that's really annoying me. It's going to potentially open a bit of a can of worms. Everyone who's like been a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy's comic books for some time
Not me.
have been sort of raging about, oh, all of a sudden they're all on this train. Well, that's a good thing,
God,
isn't
are we
it?
going to do that again?
No, but is that,
Seriously,
that's a
people,
good thing.
stop getting the shits when other people start liking things you've been liking forever.
Yes,
You
thank
are
you.
keeping these people in business. Like, you want
Oh.
these things to keep going and last and survive.
What did
Let
you- what-
let
hang on.
people support them.
What did you expect? You brought out a movie about a comic book and like, oh no, only the comic book fans are going to go see this? Like,
No, see,
They're
the
the
big
only ones that
problem.
have the right to enjoy it.
What, so I'm allowed to go see the movie as long as I have a shit time?
I wish right now that we had this recording his video just to see Ray screwing up her face just like, oh my god, people, don't, just stop it.
Look,
But
that
I-
whole attitude just frustrates me. That's
Oh,
I
it
had
kills me.
someone suggest that I cosplay Spider-Woman, and I'm like, look, guys, honestly, I haven't read a lot of Spider-Woman
and
stuff.
they're just like,
generally,
be judged.
I'm generally only going to cosplay a character that I feel a really strong connection with, because, you know,
Wonder
why
Woman.
else would you spend hundreds of hours making a costume?
Yeah.
So I put up a post on Instagram saying, hey guys, you know, I've had this suggested to me as a character, not very familiar with her. Can you recommend me some good issues to read up so I can get a good grasp of who she is and
yeah.
see if I like her? And this guy went on this full rant about how I can't cosplay a character that I haven't been reading since the beginning of time. And even if I do read it and I do end up liking her and cosplaying her, I can't actually call myself a fan.
He puts a
And I
bad
said,
name to
I'm
the
sorry,
old
mate,
Thermal.
but if I've read enough of a character to warrant putting hours into making a costume, I'm not going to do it unless I consider myself a fan of that character. So, back off.
The sad part about this is it brings us back to the fake geek girl crap that we've all seen so many times.
But I don't think in this instance it is. I think it's
No.
just comic guys.
Oh, no,
Are like,
but it's
they're
the same-
bizarre. Like, I had this argument with a guy on Twitter who said that the Big Bang guys shouldn't wear comic book shirts because then other people don't know what it is, and it's just like, and I was like, oh, that doesn't even make sense. Like,
No.
most people do know what they are, and if
Yeah.
like 1 or 2% of people who watch Big Bang actually like were propelled to go and buy a comic book for it, DC
Yeah.
and Marvel would be rolling in bank. Like, this is not a bad thing for them. Like, just let it go. Just chill.
I
Full elitism and keeping it all in this little bubble. And in one hand, I can understand, you grow up getting teased for liking this stuff, and then all of a sudden everyone likes it,
Very
and you're
good
sitting
point.
there going, oh, okay, so it's good enough for everyone now. But you've got to leave that behind. Drop it.
It's not so much that. It's people that are just in the community. Like, people that
Yeah.
attend, like, these conventions, whether they be pop culture or whatnot. And they are a fan of it, and they associate with people that are interested in similar things. May not necessarily be the particular thing that they're talking about, but...
Yeah.
And then they completely rip them a new one. And I just think that is totally wrong. It annoys me so much.
But this is my point on the whole thing, is that it's the same mentality as the fake geek girl thing. It's that same, like, just people being stupid. Just not even like, oh, well, you like this, well, I like this, but you can't like this because you didn't like this before, or that I don't think you've read it. And it's Ray's had this before. She's been in the center of the Bioshock Infinite. The Bioshock thing, when you actually Google your name, that's the first thing that pops up. It's hilarious.
know.
I'm like, because I was...
I checked like search terms for my website, and it's just people typing in Bioshock Infinite, and I go to my website, and I'm like, I need something out of this, guys.
Uh-huh.
Change it to T-Geek Next Door and we'll be laughing. They search for that, they get you, we've done our job. No more Bioshock.
But yeah, and it just
Brilliant.
people's stupidity around these types of issues, like, just stop the angst, stop the hate, just respect one another. We're all equals, damn it.
Be
It's
thankful.
not even relevant anyway, because most of these comics have been going since like the 50s and 60s.
Exactly.
And I doubt these guys were even alive when they started. Like,
This guy that was talking to me on Instagram, I was like, I'm sure we all have gaps in our character knowledge. Like, come on, man.
Like, hint, hint.
And he said, my dad ran a comic store, and I've read everything and all that. It's just, it drives
call
me
bullshit on
mental.
I'm gonna call bullshit
He's
on that.
read everything off
Yeah,
Wiki.
Yeah. In the end, he ended up recommending me read Wiki, and I'm like, look, dude,
Who recommends that?
Yeah, I'm asking for specific issues that people enjoyed of a character, and you're finding that as a reason to jump down my throat.
See-
like, back off.
Because one of the things that I would have turned around, and I probably would have just said to him, like, dude, you're a wanker. I'm not in your position. I can do that.
These conversations sometimes. So I sit there going, I've wasted half an hour on this conversation. I could have been doing something productive with my life.
Look,
Nope.
From experience, Ray, look, I have been to a number of conventions. I have dressed up. I have a specific cosplay myself that cost me about $800 to get made.
It is brilliant.
You're insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the Millennium Earl from D. Grey Man.
Wow.
Latex mask and everything. That's
Oh.
where
Yeah.
the majority of the
All
money
right, that's
came
where the money came from.
Yeah.
Because it took
Actual
4
latex, like you gotta
yeah.
powder yourself up and all that?
Latex, it's like an actual slip-on mask.
It's,
I
it's really impressive.
But it took 4 of them to get it just right. So,
Oh,
but
nice.
I ran Manifest in 2011, the most successful year it had, and the amount of people I spoke to and said, "Look, your costume is amazing. You put a lot of time into it, and do you enjoy it?" And if the answer is yes, I don't give a crap how much they know about it. If they had fun making it and wearing it, that's all
Yeah.
that matters to me,
Mhm.
and that's
Yeah.
how it should be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
And
Actually,
by the way, Ray, your Wonder Woman, spot on.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, getting back to Guardians,
I was
I
going to say
haven't
something
seen
about
much.
cosplay for a second.
All right.
Shout us suggestions. We're going to be attending some stuff later on this year. One of those being PAX. Shout us some suggestions of potentially what you'd like to see as cosplay. Now, I'm thinking about doing a Bane thing. I just bought a wrestling mask. I'm going to fix it up and stuff. And I'm a big guy, so I'm like, it'll hide my fat belly. If I look like Bane, it'll be great. Because, I'm pretty tall and I could fake that muscle.
like to see you as Bane. I think
Yeah.
you could pull it off.
Yeah, I think I could. I'm not going to shave my head or anything, though. That's why the wrestling mask is
Yeah.
going to be there, because I like my
Yeah.
hair. But yeah, if you've got any, just hit us up, send us an email to admin@tgeeknd.com, and if you want to shoot anything Ray's way about what she should be reading in the regards to Spider-Woman, like, hit us up, we'll pass it on. Because, she's asking for some help. Like, hey, let us know of a great issue. We'll send it on through. I personally don't read Spider-Woman, so...
Yeah.
Never really appealed.
With the cosplay at PAX thing as well, one of the days falls on Halloween.
Oh.
So, I've got one planned that should be fun.
It's coming back, boys.
Cosplays.
I kind of want to do Kanji's persona from Persona 4. That's where I'm sitting at the moment.
That's the big skeleton
The
robot
skull
thing, right?
robot.
Do you know who I could see you as well? If you remember Dragon Ball, like, is it Android 8, the Frankenstein one? He was like Android 8 or 6 or something. He was like literally Frankenstein. I could totally see you doing him.
Well, I've thought about a Frankenstein cosplay before.
So to get back to it,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I haven't seen much, haven't read any of it. Really like the actor that they've got as the human in the group, and that's enough for me. Like, it looks like it's going to be interesting. They've clearly put some time into making it.
Yeah.
It's still worth me checking it out.
Look, of course.
Rocket looks cute as a button.
Apparently,
That's my 2 cents.
apparently he's the heart of the film. That's what they've said in the some of the character bio
bodyguard.
things.
He seems like he'd be badass.
Who's
He is
his
supposed to be badass.
And
isn't
who's
he?
his bodyguard?
The tree.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Groot.
That's what got me into it, the big tree dude. And I'm just like, this guy right here.
Seriously,
This guy.
It's Vin Diesel. Don't get me wrong. Didn't really like the Riddick stuff that much. The first one was cool. The next ones were kind of boring. But it's Vin Diesel. We know he's a decent actor.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine him as a tree,
With that
just
voice,
hitting
man.
thing and that voice. Like, it's,
Brr.
like, wow, it's got me excited, not in that way, so don't say it.
Damn.
But I think that's going to be pretty cool. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I'm excited. This was one of those ones where I went, and then I saw it and went,
Yeah, because you initially hear, like,
that's the way I could describe it.
here's a couple of aliens, a human, a tree, and a raccoon.
Yeah,
The first instant thing you think of is like,
I'm sold, man.
I'm like, you might be, but everyone else isn't. And that
Yeah.
was the point. People were like, I don't know if you can pull this off. But those trailers came out. I'm like, there's a space battle. There's a space battle, man. Look, it's all in space. It's not set on our worlds at all. This is great.
I'm really loving that meme that's going around at the moment that's like DC going, yeah, no, it's just too difficult to have a Woman in her own movie. She's such a difficult character to pull off. And
yes.
it's like,
Like,
Marvel,
Marvel.
have a raccoon.
Here's a raccoon.
That's brilliant.
You know,
Job done.
in saying that, there's a couple of things, and I think we might have touched on this in a previous podcast about DC and they're aiming at boys to sell toys. DC, I don't know if anyone from DC is ever going to listen to this, but you're idiots. You quite frankly, it's just stupid thing to turn around and say we're going to aim this all at boys. Girls buy toys as well. You know what? Your biggest seller is going to be Wonder Woman because all the freaking girls love this character. They're going to go out and buy it because she's empowering.
And not just the
Sales of
girls.
Barbies are dropping.
There are still
Yeah,
girls.
exactly.
Barbies are in trouble, and girls need someone to look up to, and I am sick to death of it just being palmed off as, like, I look at my nephew and he's got, you know, Iron Man and Batman and the Hulk and all these characters that he can watch in movies and then buy all the merchandise for and pretend he's them running around. And then you've got little girls that what do they get? Like Kardashians?
They
Oh,
get
no.
Barbie, Kardashians, and Black Widow.
Black Widow.
But in saying that,
Keisha needs some.
someone show me some Black Widow
I gotta
toys.
shoot people.
Anyone? No?
That kind of
Did we
ties
see
into-
any Black Widow toys? There was like, I think maybe one figure that came out. Yet
Yeah.
Haven't
Captain
been to
America
Fox Hill
has
to
like
see the
4
knockoffs,
different
have you?
ones. Batman has like 20 different ones from the movie when it came out. When Batman came out, how many Catwoman toys did you see? One you were lucky to see? What about when Injustice was released? With those big packs, you saw what? 2 different types of Harley Quinns. But, you know, you saw like 3 or 4 different types of Batman/Superman, right? You had like the crystalline one that was
Share the love.
through
You
and-
can't exactly say Harley Quinn is a role model for young
well,
girls,
no.
so like,
But
I love her. Don't get me wrong, she's my favorite, but
you're just saying that because she's crazy and she's a
little
villain.
A little bit. I find
This generation's going to be in trouble.
I find in DC that the villains are far more interesting than the good guys, and I feel like that's the problem that they've got going on. Like, I would much rather watch a Harley Quinn Joker movie than I would watch a Batman movie, like, any day of the week.
Good enough for Kevin
How?
Smith.
I wonder how long it's going to take. I wonder how long it's going to take before somebody realizes that what we want to see is not a good superhero movie, but a good supervillain movie. Shoot it from the side of the supervillain. Shoot it that the supervillain eventually gets locked up behind bars or something like that. That's fine. But show us from the villain's side. I want to see the villain doing villainous stuff.
That would be amazing, but it will never happen.
It won't pass the census.
It never
would. They'll be like, oh no, we can't do that.
Payday movie?
Payday movie.
Alright, we need about 50 mil.
Yeah, I'm going to need a lot more than that. I try and aim for 50 mil payoff.
Okay, we're going for the stars here.
Now, this leads us into the next discussion, which is surprising, and I'm going to do the preface of this one of DC turning around and saying, a women lead character as a hero in a movie, no, that can't happen. Hey, guess what Marvel just announced? They're doing Black Widow. Congratulations, DC. You're behind the 8 ball again.
Yet again, I would actually really love DC to steal Marvel's casting director. Just seriously,
You know
they
what?
nail it.
Casting means nothing without writers, though.
Yeah.
Man of Steel.
Yeah. Oh,
Batman
look.
versus
Yeah.
Superman could potentially be really good, but if they've got those same writers, it's gonna be horrible.
And I think directors as well.
Yeah,
like, they
yeah.
nailed, I'm on the Joss Whedon bandwagon, and I have been ever since the first Buffy movie, but he was perfect. Like,
Look what he did with Avengers. Look what he did with all of the Marvel stuff that he's touched.
Yeah,
it's all
it's
gold.
brilliant. Beautiful.
And here's this guy that a few of us probably knew beforehand of, Buffy and stuff like that we loved from those kinds of shows. And then all of a sudden, Marvel picks him up and goes, hang on a second, like, you're not B grade. We want to bump you up to, A-list elite, man. Come do this stuff for us. Show us what you've got. And he went in there and went, here's my ideas. And they went, sold. Here's a big fat paycheck. Make it so. Bam. Lots of money. What did DC?
Definitely good for us.
And look at what happened. We got amazing stuff out of it. I think DC needs to be a lot more chill. I think they need to go to the massage parlor and just de-stress.
No, man, they need to fire off all those 70-year-old
they
businessmen.
need to take some risks.
Yeah.
They need
Which
to
I
be
think is what they're not
serious.
doing.
Keywords,
This is the
market
thing.
research.
Yeah. Yeah, DC is so serious with their films, though. Like, I did love the Nolan Batman trilogy, I will admit.
Yeah,
I did
that was
love
good.
it. Less and less as it went on.
Yeah.
but-
Hey, Bane, how are you defeated? Catwoman on motorbike. Oh, shit.
Not again.
you know,
Hey, Bruce, you realize you're screwing the one person who's out to kill you? You didn't realize this? You do now. Whoops.
but Marvel managed to craft the films in such a way that they appeal to a really genuinely broad audience.
Except for Thor.
That's all the ladies.
No. Oh, time out. Thor 1, okay. Thor 2,
Yeah.
a lot better.
I'm talking more in terms of you will get parents taking their kids to go watch these
Yeah,
movies.
that's
Yeah.
true.
They
So you're
also-
tapping into that huge market there, whereas DC, because they have gone that darker route with the stories and
You
the
can't
feel
really
of
take kids
things,
to see that.
you're kind of leaving that real young crowd behind.
You don't want to see a Joker be like, you want to see how this pencil disappears. And get some
Yeah.
guy's head and just go
But no,
bang.
that's the thing. Batman is by by definition a very dark character, and
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
not a lot you can do about it because
No.
his villains are.
Oh no, I'm not saying
scaring you
suggesting that we
crapless.
make Batman
But
look like-
Superman is very definitely one that could be targeted at a younger audience because he's supposed to be out in the sun going, I stand up for puppies.
That's
Like-
who gets his
the sense of
power.
humor, like anything.
And instead we get an hour and a half of Superman destroying buildings, destroying an entire city and punching shit.
I love that meme.
Instead of
allowing himself to be
wait.
handcuffed.
Instead of Superman Returns, which was an hour and a half of Lex Luthor walking around talking to the camera and carrying shit, right? I mean, which is
Again,
the
is
lesser
this
of two
the
evils?
Kevin Spacey Lex Luthor?
Yeah, I think so.
Because that's the only thing I remember from that movie. So my imagining is that Kevin Spacey did a very good job of
Hey.
being Lex Luthor, if that's all I remember.
I was still sad when that train set that was superb got totally demolished. That's what I remember from that movie.
Damn, guys, you
Yeah.
wasted all that money on this train set just to destroy it? What are you
That was
thinking?
such a nice one. Oh.
Really?
My
I'm
Sheldon
super
Cooper coming out.
excited. I really am excited that we are going to see a Black Widow standalone movie because
Completely.
just having the rest of the Avengers have their own, except Hawkeye, because what are you going to do? I think it's a good thing.
I'm not surprised. It surprises me only in the fact that it's taken Marvel this long, but I have a feeling that that's where we came into with Captain America, that they were, and that's why she's in there, because people were like, why is she in there? Well, this is why, guys. They wanted to give her more of a solid, hey, you know what? I'm not just a spy, I have a heart. And I reckon that her movie is going to be all about her personal struggles with the past. And if that's going to be the case, kicking a lot of ass. If that's going to be the case, we're going to see an amazing movie.
If we can capture that essence of that first scene that she's in Avengers, where she's tied to the chair. If we can just turn that into a full film, I'm sold.
I'm sold. How good is that going to be? Like, she's just kicking ass.
I will admit, I was expecting like Black Widow and Hawkeye. I was expecting the two together, but I have no issue that she's doing her own thing.
What's to say he's not going to be in it?
No, but the fact that it's branded as a Black Widow movie, I was expecting it to be the two, not just one brand.
I'm happy because I really...
as much
as I like Jeremy Renner...
I really like the guy who played Hawkeye, but then I have no reference to the comics.
As much as I like him as Hawkeye, or a Hawkeye character, because he's not the same as in the comics, really, which is fine, and I don't mind them changing stuff up like that, but... As much as I like him, he bores me to death.
I don't think I could watch a whole movie with him being the lead.
He's so flat. Look at him in The Bourne Identity.
Oh, I was going to say, it's good.
Yeah.
I actually preferred Damon.
Yeah.
I hated The Bourne Identity.
I think that movie in general is a letdown, but let's not let's keep it going.
No, the game was the letdown. The game was horrible.
A movie game being horrible? Please, sir.
Blasphemy.
You know what?
Tell me more as I twizzle my moustache.
Avatar was the greatest game ever made.
No, this is called now #land the game.
How about that amazing Spiderman game? Wasn't that amazing?
Dun, dun, dun.
That was better than I thought it would be.
You know what? I bought it for like $50 from JB Hi-Fi the day it came out.
Why?
Because I was like, it's Spider-Man and I want to play it. And I love Spider-Man and I was like, I spent $50. Can I take it back?
You got 7 days, brother?
Not at that particular reputable game seller.
Oh, I actually said the name, didn't I? This actually brings me into a topic we don't have down that I did want to touch on very quickly because it's exploded across the internet. Fantastic Four casting. Has everyone seen this?
Yeah. I've seen that they've, here we go.
What's going on?
Don't mind me.
We're all staring at you, Rae.
Ray's pizza delivery guy just rocked up.
What are you doing?
Ray?
Is that like, I'm here to deliver your pizza?
They've done that. They've done that whole let's make this controversial thing again with the casting of this film, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
Yes.
Who is the cast?
Oh gosh, we can't have a black man playing a white character because that's just wrong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not my problem as well. Like, okay, so I saw the internet explode about this, and I see kind of where they're coming from, but I think they're trying to voice their opinion in entirely the wrong way. The more of the problem is, if you're going to show us who you've casted, give us some background and tell us what you're actually changing. I am fine with a black guy playing as the Human Torch. In fact, I'm all for it. The problem is, I'm wondering how the family dynamic is going to happen. We're seeing a younger Reed Richards. Is Reed Richards and Sue Storm, are they going to get together? Are they not going to get together? Are they no longer love interests?
Sorry, just back to my question. Who have they cast?
I only know of Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch. I didn't pay attention to the other guys.
I can picture the faces, don't know their names.
I haven't heard of most of those guys either. I hadn't even heard of Michael B. Jordan.
Research it.
Yeah, let me consult the god of Google.
The god of Googles.
to get to a side note, and I don't want to go on long about this because I could for hours. Ender's Game's movie changed one of the major characters from the books from being an older, I believe, North American white guy to a slightly older-ish, short black woman.
Hang on, hold that thought, because this isn't that kind of change. This isn't a one character change. This will actually change the entire team dynamic. What makes Fantastic Four brilliant is that they act like a real family together. and they've got that dynamic where they do fight with each other. They do, Johnny is the hothead, and the Thing is like the stone that the water can't move. This is the whole family dynamic that we're talking about potentially changing, because you've got a younger Mr. Fantastic, and you've got a black guy playing Human Torch. The question is that still going to be Johnny Storm?
Brother,
is he an adopted brother? I'm fine with that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That actually makes me feel much better.
But then you're gonna get
But
those
to be
haters.
fair, these people all look like they're of this. I'm looking at them now. They all look like they're the same age anyway. So
That's where the strange thing came in, though, because Reed's supposed to be
he's like
older.
10 years older than Sue.
Yeah. Because the original
But
story
not there.
behind
And
the
even
Thing.
if-
Well, the original story behind the Thing and Mr. Fantastic is they met in, I think it was the Korean War or something like that. And that's Ben basically becomes the shuttle pilot, only because Reed's like, hey, do this for us, and he's like, dude, you're crazy. Like, we don't know what cosmic rays are going to do. And then Sue... Sue Storm's all like, hey, Ben, are you going to be a coward? Are you going to be a coward? Are you going to let the commies win? Because it was back in that era. And Ben Grimm was all like, you know what? Hey, I ain't no coward. Woohoo, Space Boy Cowboy, let's go. The question is it going to change that family dynamic? Because if it does, what's the basis for the story going to be?
It's going to get all chickless up in here.
Oh,
chickless.
why can't it still have that family feel,
Well,
but
and
not
that-
have them be like not have them have a father figure? Because if they have a father figure, surely they get into less trouble.
But this is the other side of the conversation as well, is that we don't know what they're changing yet. So my point is the internet shouldn't be jumping to the conclusion if this is going to suck because of this.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It goes back to your Lex Luthor thing that we were
It does.
discussing.
It certainly does. And it goes back to what I always say about any movie.
But it's not the internet if we don't all jump to the conclusion it's going to suck, right?
Exactly.
I think we're putting, Gal Gadot through the same ringer that we put Heath Ledger through.
Man. And look at how Heath Ledger went. Look at how Captain
I
America went
actually
as well.
liked the idea of Heath Ledger as the Joker in the beginning, and everyone was like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, no, I think he'll be good. Look at his mouth.
Yes. And that's the thing, like...
A lot of ladies did, Some good lips.
And some men.
Oh, how you
I
like?
I love that look
To
he
be
just
honest.
gave. He's just like pointing the lips down, look diagonal, and just like...
Is this Joker
Stop.
going to be shirtless?
Why so serious? Here's my man nipples.
you didn't see Brokeback Mountain, did you?
I actually haven't watched Brokeback Mountain. I haven't watched it.
Neither have I.
He goes for the other team.
Yeah, no.
We know that.
Spoilers, Jesse! Oh my god, I haven't seen it yet!
Oh my god! It came out like before his death, man. Come on. People haven't seen it yet. Don't spoil it for people. Alright, so I think we're at the end. I'm going to give some shout outs. The first one is to Giselle Rossman from the Independent Game Developers Association here in Melbourne.
Very lovely.
Absolutely. Who organised Game Jam. For those that don't know, check on our website. There's a big article on the winners of the recent Game Jam that...
Myself and Al went to.
Yeah, absolutely. And Curtis and Dana and myself checked out the actual games in production at the time.
What was the winner? Because people
Checkmates.
Checkmates. People should definitely check that game out because it was cool.
It was amazing.
Don't play it with anyone that loves to troll. Like Al.
Like Al is a horrible person.
Look, if you're going to give me a chance to troll other people by like screen visualizations, I'm going to do it. At least until I have to work with the person. So, big shout out to Giselle. Keep up the awesome work. We love seeing independent stuff from people who worked there as well, and guys from Surprise Attack were there.
Yeah.
Surprise Attack also, big shout out to them because they're awesome. We are actually going to have Stephen from Surprise Attack. Elephant is going to come on the show in a couple of fortnights' time, maybe even next fortnight.
Sweet.
Another big shout out to Hasbro and One to Another for some Magic the Gathering product, which a review will be up on the website soon. Born of the Gods has just been released in booster packs and fat packs and I think starters. So get on that because it's an awesome new set for Magic. Anyone else with shout outs?
Thanks to Rae for joining
This gal.
us today.
This gal.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah. Now,
Thanks for the amazing Rae. I will...
The Amazing Rae. I'm
The
taking
amazing
that.
Rae. Well, actually, I was going to make a Ghostbusters quote, considering that a certain famous Ghostbuster is unfortunately
May he rest in
passed.
peace.
May he rest in peace. Which is,
Samantha once home.
Rae, The next time they ask you if you're a god, you say yes! So we'll get Rae's details for her blog, which has some awesome stuff that you guys definitely should read, especially you internet people. We'll put that down in somewhere wherever we post this.
But we've got actually some giveaways, don't we?
We do.
We do. I was able to secure 2 12-month Xbox Live Gold memberships with a bonus 1 month. Rae, I think you're disqualified because you chose the code word that people have to tweet at us about. What is that code word?
Turtles.
Turtles!
So at
Love turtles.
TGND on Twitter.
Yep.
And if you are going to tweet us, basically what we'll do is we'll run this for 5 days. We'll draw it on Friday.
I'd say probably keep doing it for a while, and we will pick out a winner to announce for one of them, one of the 2 that we've got by our next cast. So make sure you check the next cast as well, so that you know if you've got it or not.
All right, so we'll give you 2 weeks.
And then we'll probably give you another code word for the second 12-month Xbox Live.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. So
So
you got to keep listening.
You got to keep listening, and you've got to tweet at us.
Yep.
So you guys have 2 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much.
So people will start just tweeting turtles to you, and everyone's like, "What is going on?"
Oh, sorry.
If that means more people are gonna just randomly post turtles, even if it's not at us, I think the internet will be a better place.
All right.
So do
So
I. Oh, instead of just the word, could you make it that they have to send you a picture of a turtle? Because that's even better.
Oh, do you want a baby turtle or do you want a big turtle?
Any type of turtle.
Michelangelo, son.
Michelangelo.
He's a big turtle.
Turtles are my
Raphael.
spirit animal.
Gosh, where are
Spirit
you
animal.
dragged up?
you know what? This is what we want you to do to win one of these. All right.
He was orange.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. So what we want you to do is we want you to tweet us a picture of a turtle. Let's just
Post
cut
a
that and
picture
we'll
of a
go right.
turtle at TGeekND.
Make it a nice turtle.
Make it a
If
nice
I don't like
turtle.
the picture
No
of the
bad
turtle,
turtles.
You're not going to win.
Exactly. So just post a nice picture of a turtle, and we'll pick one by the next podcast we do.
Yep. So we want to see hashtag turtle, which is the secret word, and hashtag Rae Johnston.
Yay!
Let's try and get it trending. Come on, people. It's not that hard.
Definitely.
For all the 5 people who listen to this.
I've had enough of that. It's like, why are you trending with turtle pictures? I don't know. It's the internet. It's my
It'll be
super-
great.
Why not?
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for obviously all being here, and thank you to Rae Johnston from coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
And hopefully you'll come on with us again, because it's been amazing fun.
It's fun.
And so, yeah,
It's just the afternoon.
best afternoon ever. Well, thank you very much, guys. And remember to rate us on the iTunes. Bump us up there, leave some comments. You'll be able to find this both on our website, our Facebook, our Twitter, eventually on our YouTube when we upload it, as well as the iTunes and the Buzzsprouts. That's a lot of sites to go through. But yeah, so we'll see you in another fortnight's time, where we'll have another special guest, and hopefully at some point we'll have Rae back on, because she's been lovely. So thank you very much, guys, and enjoy your afternoon or night or whenever you're listening to this.
TTFN.
Bye-bye.
Catch.